Hello, this is Annette with Project Refine Life. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm here to do a comparison of these two decks. They are extremely different, but they're both crystal decks. They're both on white backgrounds. So I've had this deck for quite some time, and this is the Daily Crystal Inspiration by Heather Askanusi. I hope I did that right. I can hear her saying it, but I know I'm not pronouncing it correctly. But Heather and her best friend have a shop in LA, which is called the Energy Muse. You can also find them online. Heather does many videos online and very, very generous with her information about how to work with crystals. She has a beautiful Crystal Muse book, I think it's called, which lists a few rituals that you can do with crystals. She has been in the game for quite some time. So when I did see that she came out with this deck. This was maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I cannot remember. I bought it because I've been to her shop. I know of the quality of the crystals she sells, and I know that she is knowledgeable when it comes to crystals. So that's why I bought this deck. Now, I bought the deck and I had placed this deck into my purgatory box because I just wasn't working with the deck. So along comes Boucher Designs, and they are the same creator that produced the Munay-Ki Tarot, which is just a beautiful tarot deck. I don't have that deck because I have actually quite a few animal decks, but I don't know. I might spring for it. I don't know. Their cards are lovely, so I might. I'm not sure. But when they came out with this crystal deck, I did not back it on Kickstarter, but I did buy it when it went into their pre-sales. Now the cloth that's underneath, and I love this little reading cloth here, is also by Boucher Designs. So they really have these beautiful designed products, just lovely. So let me go ahead and describe how the Crystal Inspirations deck came packaged. It just comes here. This is a mass market deck, very easy to get a hold of, and it's very reasonably priced. It has the finger notches here, so you can just simply pull it apart. It has a little saying here on the inside of the box, and it comes with a guidebook. And the guidebook is very, very simple. It just states how to work with your daily inspiration cards, a little introduction, and then gets right into the crystal meanings. And the crystal meanings within this deck is more of a divinatory deck where you're pulling a card, you're reading the meaning, but she does also include core questions and crystal actions. So she does have some affirmations included with each card. So this deck comes with 52 cards, and it is on a very shiny type cardstock, as you can see. And it is pretty thick. It's not very pliable. I don't know what the GSM is, but it's a pretty thick deck, even though, they're not hard to manage, but if you're trying to shuffle, I guess, it might be a little bit difficult. So now here with the Radiant Crystals cards, this deck came in a stunningly beautiful package. This box here has the little notch, the notch holes. I always say notch holes, and I know it sounds funny because it actually kind of makes me giggle when I say it. But it comes in this beautifully designed box. Like seriously, everything that this company does is put together with such beauty and such grace. Seriously, everything comes packaged and wrapped and beautiful little stickers. I mean, it's an experience. This is a luxury type deck when it comes to crystals. So here's a more economical version, and here's your luxury version. Now, this particular deck did not come with a guidebook. It did come with a list of the chakras, of the names in Sanskrit and also in English. And it has the beautiful chart on the other side. It has a list of all the crystals in the deck. This is the little welcome card and meet the cards, and it is signed by the creator. And this describes how to work with the chakras. So she gives you a little bit of information about chakras, how you work with them, why you work with them. And this is the description of how each card on the back of the card is formatted. So you have the name of the chakra, you have the astrological sign, the affirmation, the energies, and here are some corresponding flowers right on the bottom. So that's the so-called guidebook. Crystal grids, it does give you information about how to work with crystal grids, and she gives you examples of like this particular reading cloth here. I can use this reading cloth to work with a crystal grid. I normally don't do that with this cloth. I love it. I use it as a daily reading cloth actually. But you can buy this cloth and work with it, and it is reasonably priced. It's a beautiful, beautiful cloth, and it is very reasonably priced. Okay, so that's what comes with the Radiant Crystals cards. Also, this deck is 85 cards, and they are 3.5 by 5. So as you see, they are both the same size. And 80 cards are in regard to the crystals. The touch is very soft. It's a matte lamination. It's almost like a rose petal finish, but I think with more and more shuffling, it'll get a little bit easier to shuffle because it is a little sticky to begin with. It has what's referred to as a dusty lavender matte finish, painted edges on the sides. So as you can see, look at that. This is, seriously, this is such a gorgeous deck. It is really, really pretty. What I did is I have been working with this deck, and in working with this deck, I thought, you know what, I'm going to take that other deck out of purgatory so I can compare the two and see what cards they have in common. I wanted to really determine as well how many cards per chakra were included in the Radiant Crystals cards. I went ahead and took to Excel and made myself a whole little spreadsheet. So what I've done is I have organized this deck in accordance with this deck, and we're starting at the root chakra and then going all the way to the upper chakras. So here we go. So to begin with, we have Bloodstone. Now remember, this deck is more divinatory, so you're going to have like a little keyword just to get working with the deck in that respect, and this tells you what the crystal does, the general idea of how to work with that crystal. So Bloodstone is the first card, and that we're on to the root chakra at this point. So now the Radiant Crystal cards has a total of 16 root chakra cards. Mohawkite Jasper is not included in the Daily Crystals Inspiration. Red Jasper, they both have. This one, I don't even know how to pronounce it. It looks like a beautiful crystal. I'm not familiar with this crystal, which is interesting, but I'm not familiar with that crystal because I have a pretty large selection. Here we have Red Beryl. This is not included here. And Garnet are both included. Now, one thing that I will say about this deck, and I'm not quite sure, it almost looks like the watercolor is on the bottom and then there's a picture of a crystal on the top. And this is a very clear picture of the crystal, so you can clearly see what the crystal looks like. Black Tourmaline, they both have. Picture Jasper is not included, but, and I don't know why, I included agate here. I'm not quite sure why I did that. I think maybe I thought that the energies were somewhat similar, where you could work with them in a similar fashion. And Coral is not included in the Daily Crystals Inspiration deck. Banded Agate. Oh, I think that's where it was. The Banded Agate was to go side by side with the agate here. There we go. Now, this deck, which I'm extremely surprised, does not include regular black obsidian, nor does it include snowflake obsidian. But this deck does not include rainbow obsidian. Now obsidian, obsidian is extremely important for me. I work with golden sheen obsidian, silver obsidian, rainbow, black, mahogany, and snowflake. You name it, I work with it. Obsidian is extremely important for me with my workings and my practice. So those are your considerations when it comes to obsidian. And we are still in the root chakra here. Here we have petrified wood. There is no petrified wood here in the Daily Crystal Inspiration deck. And again, petrified wood is an extremely important crystal or stone, or I don't know what it actually is classified under, but extremely important for the way that I work in my practice. Hematite is included in both. Smoky quartz is included in both. There's no onyx here, but onyx is included here. So now we are on to the sacral chakra. So here we go. Sunstone, they both have sunstone. And they both have moonstone. Now, this is interesting to me that they included the moonstone here, because to me the moonstone isn't really a sacral chakra type of crystal. Here we have another type of agate, not included here. And they both have carnelian. And they both have tiger's eye. Here we are on to the solar plexus. So we have citrine. Here we have amber. Is that right? Yep. Here we have amber. And amber, I can see where it would be either solar plexus or sacral. So I totally get that. And now we move on to the heart chakra. So if you're keeping track, sacral was 4 cards included here, and solar plexus was 3 within this deck. And now we're moving on to heart. So in the heart chakra, the Radiant Crystals deck has 22 cards included here. So here we have jade, and we have jade here. Aquamarine. Adventurine. We have pink tourmaline here, but no pink tourmaline in the Daily Crystals. We have opal. This did not have opal, but it had pink opal. So I went ahead and included it as a side-by-side here. Rhodochrosite, they both have it. Oh my gosh, how am I going to say this? Diopasite is not, I know I'm saying that wrong. I do have this crystal. I can't pronounce it for some reason, but it's not included in the crystal inspirations. There's a lot of them here that aren't included here because there's 22 for the heart here. Emerald. And they both have angel aura quartz. This is not included in the Daily Crystals. Ruby is not included. We're on the same page here as far as the rose quartz. Peridot is not included here. Rondonite is included in both decks. Kyanite. Okay, so kyanite here, we're in the heart chakra. So this is the green kyanite. This deck did not have green kyanite, but I wanted to put in the black kyanite here. Of course, you would not work with that with the heart chakra. That is a very heavy releasing stone, so we're working with the root chakra and cutting cords and that type of deal when it comes to black kyanite, where green kyanite has a completely different energy. So that is a heart chakra stone, but just to give you the comparison. There's no kunzite here in the Daily Crystals Inspiration. There is no moldavite, and I don't know. See, and here again, here's a differencing of opinion when it comes to the way that I work with some of the things here. Moldavite, yes, it's a green stone, which might be ordinarily associated with the heart, but I do not in any way, shape, or form associate moldavite with a heart chakra crystal. Just no way. It's upper chakras all the way. It's like moldavite gets me dizzy. It is a crazy, crazy stone. It works for a lot of people. I don't know. I'm going to have to pick it up and work with it again because I just kind of put it away. I had to just put it away. Seriously. Okay. Euconite, included in both. Morganite, such a beautiful and soft energy. As you can see, it says love, angelic, and joy. You see, and it is. It is. It's all loving and sweet and pretty. Both of them have amazonite. This is another one. I've never even heard of this crystal. It looks lovely. I'm going to have to go on a hunt for some of these crystals that I'm not familiar with. I don't think I need any more crystals. I always say that. Each month I say, I don't think I need any more crystals. And then I see another crystal. But this is not included here. Moss agate. They both have malachite. Okay, here we have blue chalcedony, and there's nothing here. Here we have larimar and sapphire, and I'm sorry, we moved into the throat chakra, and there is 15 within the throat chakra. They both have lapis. They both have angelite. They both have blue apatite. Here we have this crystal here, which I am not even going to attempt to say that because I always say it so messed up. Dameterite. See, I said something like dameterite. I don't know. I said it wrong. But this one, celestite, now that's a crystal that I work with a lot. And this deck doesn't have it. This deck has tanzanite. Oh, yes, it does. I'm so sorry. It does have celestite. Okay, so let's go back. They both have that. This deck does not have this one. I'm not even going to attempt to say it anymore. This deck does not have tanzanite. They both have celestite, which is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous crystal to work with. Aqua aura quartz, not included here. They both have blue lace agate. They both have turquoise. This turquoise is a little different. I don't know what type of turquoise that is, but it looks a little darker. This is what I'm more familiar with seeing. Labradorite, extremely important crystal for me. Sodalite. And here we go into the third eye chakra. Here we have, we were in here already, I'm so sorry. See now here, it's listed as labradorite as a third eye chakra. And I don't really know that I would include labradorite as, it would be third eye, but to me it would be, labradorite would be like third eye and crown. That's just me. Sodalite, pearl. And this has banded amethyst and regular amethyst. And here we have regular amethyst. And we also have Herkimer diamond listed in the third eye. Again, I don't know that I would put third eye with the Herkimer diamond. I think I would, me personally, I would work with it for the crown. Charoite is not included here, and a very beautiful, wonderful crystal. Azurite, they both have azurite. An Arizona crystal, I might add. This is another one. I hadn't heard of this one before. And it's not included in the Daily Crystal Inspirations deck. Opalite, not included here. Lepidolite, both of them have lepidolite. Both of them, oh, Dambarite is not included here. Howlite is not included here. This is not included here. And, you know, I get it because amartine is actually a crystal that I just came and acquired just recently because, seriously, like years ago, I don't remember seeing amartine. But, I mean, it's lovely to work with. I just don't remember that being included. Magnesite, wait a minute, Magnesite. I'm saying these all wrong. I just know it. This is another one that's not included here. They both have selenite, and we are in the crown here. Fluorite, both have it included. Now this has tourmalated quartz, and they both have tourmalated quartz. There was another one I was going to talk about here. So they both include that. This has rutilated quartz, and this one does not have rutilated quartz. They both have pyrite. They both have clear quartz. Now this one does have a few more that are not included in this deck. So Lemurian quartz, which is a very important crystal. Golden healer quartz, again, another very important one. Phantom quartz, again, another one. Epiphyllite, yes. Epidote, yes, I use epidote a lot. Actually, I carry some epidote in my bra, usually. Shungite, that's a very important crystal that is kind of spread all over the house. Aragonite, it's one of my daughter's favorites. Ocean jasper. Chrysocolla. Chrysoprase. And iolite. That's another one that I work with a lot. So, as you can see, of course, this has less cards because it's 52. And this has more because it's a total of 80. Let's look at the crystal or the chakra associations for this one. So the root chakra has 16. The sacral has 4. The solar plexus, 3. The heart, 22. The throat, 15. Third eye, 10. Crown, 5. Upper chakras, 1. And the cards associated with all chakras are these last 4. And it's clear quartz, pyrite, rutilated quartz, and tourmalated quartz. I don't know that I would associate all of these in here, especially the pyrite, with all the chakras. I can see the other quartz crystals, clear quartz, of course, because clear quartz is like your Swiss Army knife of crystals. You can program it to do whatever you want. And tourmalated and rutilated, yes, but not so much the pyrite. I would associate that with your lower chakras, actually. But there's some other cards as well that are listed here that I really wouldn't associate it how they did, but there's a great selection here. Now this deck here, I really feel like this deck, even though the chakra associations are not here, I feel like as far as the overall offering of crystals that they have included within this deck is a little bit more multi-purpose or all-purpose, or most of the crystals that you're going to find when you visit your local crystal shop or metaphysical shop. Like none of these are far out crystals. None of these are going to be like, I've never heard of that crystal before. And in the Radiant Crystals cards deck, there are a few where I'm like, huh, interesting. Like that. I mean, it looks beautiful. I'm not familiar with it. I've never seen it. And I go to the gem show here in Tucson, and I've been working with crystals for quite a while. And there's a few of them here that I'm just like, huh, okay, well, let me check it out. You know, I'm always up for learning more. So this is another one. It looks beautiful. I've never heard of it. So I don't know how easy I mean, like, nobody's to say you have to get each crystal in the deck. You don't. I'm just saying that I haven't seen a few of these out in the market as well, some of these crystals. As far as the chakras are concerned, I feel like some of the chakras are a little heavy. When you have 3 for the solar plexus and 22 for the heart, you know, I just feel like maybe there should have been some adjustments with this deck. But I will say that this one doesn't include any of the healing portion of it in the guidebook. It's really more of a divinatory type of deck, an oracle. It really is an oracle, where this one is really focused more on the association of the crystal, how you can work with it, where you can work with it as far as the astrological signs. But I do like the affirmations on each one. and the type of energies that it brings you. I also like the association of the flowers associated with that particular crystal. So if you're doing some magical workings, I can see how the Radiant Crystals cards would really be beneficial in that respect, because you can really tone it down as to what astrological sign you're working with and what flowers to pull in to just match that energy. So this deck would really be useful because everything's right here. It's kind of easy to work with, but there are some cards that are not included in this deck that I just thought, wow, really? That should have been included. To me, there's a few cards here that are lacking, and I feel like the chakras are a little light, but this deck is so freaking pretty. Like, it's so beautiful, and I do love how these, you can pull these and just work with, like, what do I need to work with today? What chakra am I, in need of balancing today or paying more attention to today, and pulling for the affirmation of that particular crystal. I can see how that would definitely work out when working with this deck. What I would love to see. This is my own thing, because I don't like one more than the other. They're similar where they both have that white space on them and an actual picture of the crystal. That's what it looks like to me, where you're dealing with an actual picture of the crystal in both cards. This one has the watercolor and this one does not. But what I would love to see in this deck is an expansion pack. So this is my request because I love the feeling of these cards. I love the luxurious feel and just how tender it is on the hands. But I would love to see an expansion pack where they can even out some of these chakras. Because again, for the crown chakra, we have 5. For the third eye, we have 10. For the throat, 15. For the heart, 22. For the solar plexus, 3. For the sacral, 4. And the root chakra, 16. If some of these cards could be evened out a little bit, it would be phenomenal, because then you could get, if you're going to be using it almost in an oracle sense where you're pulling to see what chakra you need to work with, then it would be a little bit more even. But I adore this deck. It is just beautiful to touch, to work with. It's just very soft, very energetic, very beautiful, peaceful energy. And this one, like I said, I had it in purgatory, but now, like, touching it again, I think I might bring it out. So this is your value and this is your luxury. As far as crystals are concerned, I feel like this one is a little bit more balanced. Even though this one has 80, I feel like this one might be a little bit more balanced with what you would find out in the marketplace, in case you find yourself like, wow, I really like working with that one, where can I find it? But it's a shame that they don't have regular black obsidian. There's just a few in here that I think this deck should have included, or maybe kind of worked with the crystals a little bit more to make sure that there was a balance with the chakras, because it seems to be a main focus of the deck. So maybe get me a little, it's not just for me, but for everybody, of course, right? An expansion pack on the Radiant Crystals Oracle. So that's it. That's my side-by-side, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and hearing me ramble about these 2 decks. I appreciate you, and I wish you a beautiful day.